Comrade Rosa. Comrade Rosa and Salatane. Comrade Rosa going home the better, and Comrade Rosa beat
Welcome to this week's
Salatane.
edition of the Final Gallop. It is episode 268 and is proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group and PlayUp. This week we're going to preview our 12 runners for Saturday's Magic Millions Prelude Day at Doomben, and we'll have an early look at All That Pizzazz and the King of the Mountain, which is the feature race at Toowoomba on New Year's Monday. Morning, Tony. Another great summer carnival meeting last weekend with 4 winners: Bossed Up, Magic Freedom Rally and Zoustyle winning the Falvalon.
Yeah, good morning, Claire. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas day. Yeah, we had a great start to the Christmas weekend on Saturday. The track raced really well, as it has been. And we had a really stable, had strong chances going into the meeting, and often that's not the way sometimes it plays out, but it played out really, really well. They all raced terrific, not only the 4 winners, but a Quinella and a trifecta as well. So it was hard not to be pretty satisfied with the result. I'm sure the whole team here was proud of their efforts. So it was a good way to begin our Christmas weekend.
Yes.
And hopefully we can carry that on this weekend here to Doomben. It's been what's been quite a stormy period.
Yep.
We'll talk about the track in a minute, but looking forward to this meeting at Doomben. This is basically the last big meeting before we get down the Gold Coast for that Magic Millions Carnival.
Okay, on to Saturday's Magic Millions Prelude Raceday at Doomben. The rail will be in the 3 metre position. The track is currently a heavy 8 with hot weather and more storms forecast. It's pretty much going to be a wait and see on the track, depending on if these storms arrive or not.
Yeah, they're very iffy, the forecast for the storms, but if we don't get them, which it's hard. If you look at the sky this morning, you wouldn't think they're going to get any storms. There's not a cloud in it, and it's awfully hot. So that track was a heavy 8 yesterday at acceptance time. I'd be highly doubtful that would be the case now.
Yep.
It's very hot, and if we get a couple of these warm days, which is expected, and a fine day Saturday, the only fly in the ointment, so to speak, would be if we get storms on Saturday afternoon during the meeting. If we get a storm, well, the races are in big trouble. But without that, nice warm weather, I'd be working on a really nice track, probably at worst a 5.
Okay. We will kick off in race 1, which is the benchmark 70 handicap over the 1110 metres. We have 3 runners in this. We'll start with Inner Sec, 59.5 kilos, with Bailey Wheeler's 2 kilo claim. She's drawn barrier 4. With PlayUp, she's paying $9 to win and $3 for the place. Just got caught on the inferior inside ground first up at the Sunny Coast, and will be better second up, and she does love the track.
Yeah, she does. That was the big thing about the Sunshine Coast run. She drew that low draw and she got a beautiful run, but as we know, when it's softer on the inside, it's just such a biased venue.
Yep.
They've got to get out on that crown. She had to go back underneath and she had no choice, and she lays in significantly, this mare, so it just didn't suit her at all. This race will set up a whole lot different for her. I think she's over the odds.
Yep. She's
really good at dooming around this 11.10. I expect her to race very, very well.
Second runner is Get Up Girl. She'll have 59 kilos with Ben Thompson riding her. Barrier 5 with PlayUp. She's paying $4.80 to win and $1.95 for the place. It is her first start for our stable, and she is a stakes perform mare and did finish strongly in a 1,000 metre trial a fortnight ago.
Yeah, she did. I like the way she trialled. I think this sort of ground will really suit her. She'll be sort of back in the field a bit and running on. That's been her pattern down there. It is hard sometimes getting these mares mid-prep.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with the way she worked on Tuesday. I think she'll enjoy this Queensland tempo. They'll go along at a nice gallop in this, and she'll sit off that, and she'll be very, very strong late. My only query is the 1100 going to be too short for her.
Okay. Third runner is Fumiko. She'll carry 58 kilos. Blake Shin rides barrier 12. She's paying $4.40 to win and $1.85 for the place with PlayUp. She's coming off a close second and then a 4th in her first 2 runs for the stable. Last start just getting a little bit too far back in the run at Eagle Farm.
Very messy run the other day. I thought her first up run, even though she got back, she was really good, and off that run she can be very competitive here. The other day I just put a line through that. I was thinking about making some gear changes and playing around with her, but I've elected not to. I just felt it was messy. She got interfered with early. Nothing was smooth, and she's a mare that just needs that smooth run.
Yep.
The wide draw, it's pretty obvious we're going to be in the back half of the field. I'd expect her to be a much better late than what she was the other day.
How are you going to split the 3?
It's the other 2 mares. Like, we're still learning with them.
Yep.
It's hard to know. They got the form on the board to run well. I'm going to stick with Inner Sec, a mare we know. I think she's just going to lob into a really good spot from gate 4. She gets in really well with the claim. I expect her to run pretty well.
And Bailey Wheeler's last 2 rides for us both been winners.
He's good. He's a good young apprentice. He's got the aid of that 2 kilo claim, which is invaluable to these horses in these benchmark races. So the claim's a big help. She's a mare I think that her price is probably exaggerated a touch by where she's finished first up, and she couldn't have finished any closer with the way the track played.
Okay. We'll go to race 3 now, which is the benchmark 85 handicap over the 1615 metres. We will have Aussie Nugget in this. He'll carry 60 kilos with Ben Thompson riding. And the Nugget has drawn barrier 3 with PlayUp. He's paying a $3.70 to win and $1.45 for the place. Ready to hit top form after coming oh so close last start at Eagle Farm over the mile, and he has a very good third up record as well.
I really like this horse's chances. We know he gets better into a prep.
Yep.
I thought he won the other day on the line, and the replay showed that he'd just been beaten, which is heads up, heads down. He's going super. The key to him is another ride like Ben gave him the other day. He's giving him a good ride the other day. Everything went to plan. If the same can happen again, he'll be very hard to beat. The track will suit. He feels good. He looks good. Really happy with the horse. Just need to try and get another 11 out of 10 from Benny on him if he can do it, because it is difficult the way that he sometimes slow away at the gates. If he can get into step and travel in the right spot, he can be right there.
Race 4 is the benchmark 90 handicap over the 1050 metres situation room runs. He'll carry 58.5 kilos. Angela Jones will be in the saddle, and he's drawn barrier 1 with PlayUp. He's paying $7.50 to win and $2.30 for the place. He does return to his favourite track after a good run in the Bribie when caught in inferior going on the inside that day at Eagle Farm.
Yeah, I think the key to him is back to Doomben.
Yep.
We've seen him race at his 2 least liked tracks, Sunshine Coast and Eagle Farm. He doesn't like either of those, particularly Eagle Farm. He got in the wrong part of it the other day, but he just doesn't love the surface either, I don't think. Even though the track's racing well, it's just not for him. Doomben, he loves it. He's a horse that quickens off corners. You'll see this horse race so much better for going back to where he is on the weekend.
Okay.
He's drawn well. He's a nice fast horse. You'll see him race on speed. I know the favourite is a reasonably good horse. And it was a sick defeat the other day. I think it was at Randwick where he raced for Matt Dunn. And he's obviously promising. I've seen him here in lower grade races at Doomben. But this horse is going really well back to Doomben. I think you'll see a big improvement. I think he's over the odds.
Okay. Race 5 is the benchmark 75 handicap over 50 metres. A count of beans runs. He'll carry 59.5 kilos using 3 CJ Graham's 1.5 kilo claim. He's drawn barrier 12 with PlayUp. Beans is paying $12 to win and $3.70 for the place. He was pretty good first up and then didn't let down on the firm Eagle Farm track in the Gateway, and he will appreciate any give in the track on Saturday.
Yeah, the Gateway meeting was the worst this track's raced for about a year or at least 6 months. So this horse does not like Eagle Farm at its best, let alone when it's close to its worst. So I'd be very forgiving of the Gateway. It was the wrong part of the track. It was too firm. He was just eased up on late. His run at the Sunshine Coast on good ground was really good. He was strong through the line. Back to a track that he races well at, that's had all this early rain, it's going to have nice moisture in this track. I think he's a huge chance. The only thing that's messy here is the map.
Okay.
CJ's just she'll be back in the last third of the field. She's just got to go back, switch off, and then try and ride a race. That's going to be the trick, is how we get from where we're going to land to where we want to be.
Yep.
That's going to be the trick here. But he's I feel like a broken record over the odds. He's another one that's over the odds, coming off a poor run at a venue they don't like, going back to a venue they do like. This horse will race so much better.
Race 6 is the Magic Millions shootout over the 2020 metres, and this does earn a wildcard into the Magic Millions Sub-Zero. We have Princess Rainice in this. She'll carry 52 kilos with Ben Thompson riding barrier 2. She's paying $3.40 to win with PlayUp and $1.60 for the place. Has come very close in her past 2 starts at the mile and then out to the 1800 metres last start, and she will appreciate the distance and a better barrier.
The whole prep's been set towards this race. We took the blinkers off at the start of this prep, and everything's about getting her out to the 2000. I've been super happy with each and every run. She's prepped up beautifully. She's a fortnight from that last start into this, where we had to just go back, cop her medicine off a wide draw, wait a little bit too long. Here, hopefully we can get a kind of run midfield and get into the race from there. We're well weighted. We dropped significantly in weight. And I think she's the right horse for it. So I'd love to win this race for Graham and Linda. Obviously they own Shootout, the horse that the race is named after, and this has been the sole race that I've focused on all preparation. So hopefully we've got it right this weekend.
Okay. Race 8 is the Listed Nudgee Stakes for the fillies and mares over 1200 metres, a race you have won twice, most recently with Salatine 2 seasons ago, and it's another wild card race into the Magic Millions fillies and mares race. We have 2 runners this year. Comrade Rosa is the first one we'll talk about, 58.5 kilos, Ryan Maloney on board, barrier 11. She is paying $3.80 to win and $1.70 for the place with PlayUp. Impressive winner of the Listed Tattersalls Classic last start at this track and trip, and that was 5 weeks ago. And you gave her a trial, and she did look good in that, but hard held last week.
Yeah, she's flying, this horse. I can't believe the improvement in her in 12 months. She's just going so well. Looks well. She's a really nice, big, strong, mature mare. I think she's my best chance on the card.
Okay.
I love the way she's going. She'll settle midfield this year. Maloney gave her an absolute pearler the other day. If he can produce a similar sort of ride here, there's plenty of speed in this race. There's enough tempo up front. If we can just find a spot midfield off that speed, I'd be shocked if she's not strongest late. I think she's awfully well placed here. Can't be happier with her.
Okay, second runner is Authentic Jewel. She'll carry 55.5 kilos. Damien Thornton rides barrier 10. She's playing $41 with PlayUp and $8.50 for the place. Just got run down in the final 50 metres first up over the 1,000 at the Sunshine Coast. The distance might be a little bit of a query, but she should give a sight. Yeah,
distance is a huge query for me, but the plan is to try and get it towards Magic Millions Day, and the next distance is 1,300. So she sort of got a run here well for us. The ground will suit her. She had a tough run at Sunny Coast, 3 wide on a good speed. Those other leaders dropped right out, but then she rolled into the inferior ground in the straight, which just cost her running top 3, I'm sure. So her run was really good. She feels well. She'll enjoy the ground. But you're right, Claire. She's an on-pace runner. She'll be sitting up there on the speed. But the distance gives me some concern.
So I'm not even going to ask you how you're splitting.
No, Comrade Rosa. She's clearly my pick there.
Okay. Race 9 is the Magic Millions buffering over the 1,350 metres, and the winner does receive a wild card into the Magic Millions Cup. We have 2 runners. First one we'll talk about is Zoustyle, front and centre. 58 kilos. Ryan Maloney rides barrier 4 with PlayUp. He's paying $3.60 to win and $1.65 for the place. He was a very popular winner last start of the George Moore, which is a Group 3 over the 1,200 metres on a soft track. He does love Doomben, and you're giving him a chance at the 1,350.
We've given him a jump out or trial in between. He's ticked over nicely. He's so fit and healthy.
Looks happy.
As good as I've ever seen in this horse. He's just defying his age. He's in great shape. I've always wanted to get him out to the 1,350, 1,400, but as a younger horse, he was always a little bit too aggressive. We're not seeing that anymore in his racing. He's relaxing well. He's using his action nicely, and he's not spending too many carrots mid-race. And I think the jockey-horse combination with Ryan Maloney and him really works. So I was buoyed to try and do this trip, particularly around his favourite track. His record at Doomben is really, there wouldn't be a horse in the race with as good a record as him around that Doomben track. So really happy with him. I think he's a horse they've all got to beat. There'll be queries on the trip with him, and rightfully so, because he hasn't been there yet. But ability-wise, they shouldn't question that. He comes off a good race. He's well weighted here under these set weights and penalties conditions. It's the right race for him.
Okay. Second runner we have is Freedom Rally. He'll carry 56 kilos with Craig Williams in the saddle, barrier 12. With PlayUp, he's paying $4.80 to win and $1.95 for the place. He's on the quick backup after returning to his best last week at Eagle Farm over 1,400 metres. He gets another tricky draw, but his confidence is up.
Well, both these two are going for wild cards. They're the only 2 runners we got on Saturday that can win a wild card into Magic Millions. So we're going to try and get it. That's why we're doing the quick backup. I thought he was brilliant last week. He sat on speed, no cover, and just powered away. That's sort of more of the Freedom Rally we know. It took him 2 runs to get to that. So I suggest he's right at the peak of his powers now in the prep. The 7-day backup should hold no problem. He's had a really easy week here. He's treadmilled, he's candid, he just feels good going into it, and he's fit and healthy. So there's no reason why I shouldn't handle Doom. And the ride's a bit tricky from 12, but there's enough pressure here. Like Zoustyle's going to go at Zoustyle speed, and the face is going to be up there as well. And he's led his last couple and gone well. So whether they try and lead Zoustyle with him or whether they sit outside of him, I'm not sure what they decide to do. The Van Dyke camp there, who knows? But it will generate at least genuine speed here. So if it's more than genuine, if it's too much for the leader, if they cut each other up too much, then a horse like this will drop in hopefully to a 3 pairs back, second pair position. He's going to be the fit horse with the right weight that you know is going to be on the back up, is going to be strong to the line. So he's definitely a chance in the race. I wouldn't swap my 2, to be honest. And it's just what these couple of leaders do, which will hold the fate of a few others in the race.
Are you going to split them?
I'm not going to tip outside of him, and I love this horse. He's a beauty. He's been a beauty since the first day we got him here. So Zoustyle's on top for me, but it really will depend on just what happens in the run and how both riders handle their horses.
Race 10 is the Class 6 handicap over the 1,200 metres. Self-Indulgent will run in this with 54.5 kilos. Craig Williams will ride her. She's drawn barrier 16 with PlayUp. She's paying $13 to win and $4 for the place. She's yet to show her best this preparation, but has been far from disgraced in the 2 starts she has had. It is a bit of a tough draw, so Craig Williams is going to need to pull out a pearl of her eye.
I'm not overly worried about the draw. She can run well off wide draws. She's drawn so many of them in her career, and she does like being outside horses. I thought her first run back at Doomben was good for her, because she's not a first-up horse. She always improves. Then we went back to Eagle Farm, and she's a bit like when I spoke about Situation Room and we spoke about Count the Beans. I'd be really, really forgiving of her run at Eagle Farm. Okay. She just doesn't let down on that track. She doesn't enjoy it. Yeah. So, particularly the way it presented that day. Back to Doomben, track with a bit more cushion in it, a track that she liked and races well at. Yeah. I can't see why she won't run a whole lot better. The deeper we get into a prep with her, the better she goes. She's fit. She looks really well, and her work was great. So, I wouldn't, if you're going to dismiss her off her last run, I wouldn't dismiss her off that. If you like her from previous preps where she's been at, that's where she's at now.
Okay. We are going to move on to Monday's King of the Mountain slot race at Toowoomba, which is at Clifford Park. The rail will be in the true position. The track is currently a soft 5 with some showers forecast on race day. The King of the Mountain is at set weights and penalties over the 1200 metres, and we have All That Pizzazz running. He'll carry 58 kilos with Jimmy Orman riding from barrier 8. Huge finish last start to win the Bribie over the 1000 metres. Proven at Clifford Park over the 1200 metres, being the Wheatwood winner from the spring.
Yeah, he's going to have to be a giant killer, but isn't he? You know, under the set weights and pens, we don't get in as well as the top weight. No. There's no doubt. We get in a lot better than most, but just not as well as him. So we're disadvantaged there under the conditions, but this has always been my target race. Mm-hmm. The reasoning to go to the Wheatwood and back off him was always to go to the Wheatwood to see how he handles Toowoomba, because it is horses for courses. Yep. Which he did. He handled it well. He got the job done against a local that was a very, very handy horse. So then have to go back there now and face Rothfire, who hasn't been up there, which is, I guess, is his only query, but he's such a adaptable, good sprinter. I can't see why he wouldn't be really hard to beat. I love where we're drawn. I think we mapped to get a really nice run. There looks to be plenty of pressure on. We should find the back of that pressure and race really, really well. He's a real giant killer, this horse. He's not big in stature, but he does things well. So, and he's a real winner. So look, I'm not going there thinking I can't win. We know the task at hand. We knew that when we went there on Wheatwood Day and we got the job done. Yeah. Who's to say we can't do it again?
Absolutely. Okay, we are into the final furlong of this week's Final Gallop. Who do you think your best winning chance at Doomben on Saturday is?
Look, I've got many good chances on the card. I'm going to stick with Comrade Rosa. I love the prep. She's been 5 weeks by design. Yeah. This is just the perfect race for her. She gets in well at the weights, the ratings, the way it's done, the set weights and pens. So for me, she's my best on Saturday.
Okay, and your best each way chance?
The best each way chance for the meeting. It's hard to know where we're going with each way, but I think Count the Beans, huge improver back at Doomben, as is Situation Room, and they're both at the better each way odds. Okay. But if you call $4 something each way, I don't know whether you do or you don't, but if you do, I'd be shocked if All That Pizzazz doesn't run top 3 in the King of the Mountain.
Okay, and your best at the Provincials, we have Ipswich on Friday and the Sunshine Coast on Sunday, and the one runner at Toowoomba on Monday.
We've got a strong team in at the Provincials at Ipswich, which is going to be awfully hot, which is my only worry there for Friday. That track will improve nicely too off where it's been at. Mm-hmm. Sunshine Coast Sunday, we've got a bit of a team in up there as well. I'm going to go with Copenhagen at Ipswich. I thought she was really good at the Gold Coast. She was. Winning, and she's only improved, and getting out to 13.50 should suit her better. So 10 metre rail, you want horses that are going to race close to the speed, which she did. So Copenhagen for me, but a plethora of chances at the Provincials. Okay,
and your best track worker this week?
My best track worker this week, pretty gloomy morning here Tuesday, to be perfectly honest. We had a bit of rain, we worked early on the thing, but I couldn't go past the old boy. He's fit, healthy, he's doing everything I want, he's executing well, and he's in good shape. So I'll stick with him. Comrade Rosa's flying as well. So look, both horses are in good order, but I think we've got a pretty nice team in again on the weekend. Okay, and your performance from the stable for the week? It's hard because it was a good week, a lot of chances, but I can't go past Zoustyle. I think Ange Jones and him did a great job. They're a good combination. That was his toughest test last weekend, and he absorbed it well. And the Godolphin horse was certainly there, had the right run to beat us, and we were too strong late. So Zoustyle for me, he's a horse that's getting me very excited going towards Magic Millions Day with him, and also for our Winter Carnival next year. A lot of these horses you're seeing perform well on this summer, you're going to see them back here this winter. Next winter. Okay, it is time for Cav's Corner, which is supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. His multi got up last week. Wow. Merry Christmas to people. Absolutely. With both Bezique and Freedom Rally winning. Let's see what he's got for us this week.
Welcome to Cav's Corner for this week. Last week we had a bit of joy. Quite a few happy Colombian staff members here today, here at the moment, with a bit of Christmas cheer from the multi last week. This week we'll hopefully go into the new year winning. We'll go on Friday at Ipswich Amathuba, a win, and then we'll venture to Saturday to Doomben, and we'll go Little Archie, which is Situation Room, a win. So that'll be an Angela Jones double. Good punting, guys.
So he's gone provincials into Metropolitan. So he's gone Amathuba, a win on Friday, into Situation Room on Saturday.
Yeah, well, she's awfully well placed, Amathuba. Her trials and jump outs have been great. She's not at peak fitness yet, is my only concern. Am I a little bit nervous it's not 1100 and 1200, maybe a touch, but she's certainly got the right form for this race. Situation Room we've spoken about, he's back to Doomben. I'd be shocked if he's not right there on Saturday. Back to his favourite track. The horse is in really good condition.
Well, let's see if he can carry on his Christmas cheer.
This used to be his tried and true
Go-to,
provincial
yes.
city, and he got quite a few there in a row. So now he's in form. Who knows? This might be the bang to the end of the year that Cav needs.
Absolutely. Okay, good luck for a big finish for you on Saturday with All That Pizzazz, and a Happy New Year to everyone out there.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone out there. I hope you've enjoyed the racing. It's not the racing year, but it's our year. Hope you've enjoyed it here, watched the show, and hope we've got something out of it. I'm sure you got some winners last week if you followed and watched the show, and hopefully it's the same to round out 2023.
Best of luck to everyone over New Year's weekend.